So, we had a miscarriage, and we're going to talk about it today. So, join us as we talk about the hard stuff.
Why did this happen? What do you do now?
Let's talk about it. I think the interesting part that I took from Job, because I was reading it as well, I pretty much lived in Ecclesiastes and Job, and even go into Proverbs, because they're like they're called the wisdom books. So it's really interesting. But for Job, I thought it was so interesting. He's frustrated, and he's saying basically no matter what happens, God is still God. He didn't change, he didn't do anything. And he's even saying, well, God took this away from me. And it's like, well, no, actually Satan did. But he doesn't know that. And he goes, whatever God does, he's still God, and I'm still going to worship him. I just want to talk to him. So he never took honor away from God in all this. He didn't say, I'm done with you, God. He just said, God, can we talk? I don't understand. He's just frustrated. And he never says, God, you're worthless. You're not doing this. And so that's really interesting. And it was just like, for me, it was God is still God.
Yeah.
My idea of God can't change on the circumstances that I have. Even if I get frustrated with what he's doing, or what's happening, because you and I were talking about this earlier today. It's like, well, why do bad things happen? It's like, well, first off, we have to go back to the beginning where sin entered this world with Adam and Eve in the book of Genesis. Sin entered the world, and at that moment, death entered the world.
Yeah.
And later on, God says, I will limit man to 120 years. Well, that means every single one of us on earth is going to die.
Yeah.
No matter how much faith we have, we will die.
Yeah.
100%. Because we've all sinned. So we all have to face the penalty, the consequences of that sin, so we will die. And of course, we'll go up in heaven, but this body will die. And so it's like, okay, number one, we've got to realize there is sin in the world.
Yeah.
There is a Satan, a devil who is looking to devour. And we don't know why. But it's just, okay, well, that was a tragedy, but we still know who our God is.
Yeah.
And he's still looking for our best.
Yeah.
He's still taking care of us. Another thing from Job, his friends, when they came and sat with him, they didn't talk to him for 7 days, and he didn't say anything for 7 days. And I wish I would have had that for like 7 days, where you're just taking a whole week and just blah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, that is really important.
Yeah.
Because his friends just came and sat with him for 7 days. They didn't say anything, they just sat there. And they were just there when he was ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, going right back, it's just, sin's in this world, and so these things are going to happen. It rains on the just and the unjust. We can't decide where it's going to rain, where it's going to flood.
Yeah.
We just do the best we can, and we stay close to God in all of it. And if we don't, well, then it's just going to be hard. Because God's not going away. He's not one of these people. He's not the God that we can just go, well, we don't believe in you anymore. It's like he's still there.
Yeah.
He's still going to be there. He's still going to be reigning on his throne in heaven. And we can't just say, well, I'm not going to believe in God anymore. Well, we can't. He's still there.
Yeah.
He's still there. And so, bad things happen, and they're going to happen to the good people, to the bad people, to God's children, and to people who have not chosen Christ. And that's how it is. We weren't expecting it, but now we're on this end of it, and we can't go back and change it. And we just trust God for the why.
Yeah, and I think
maybe he'll tell us, maybe he won't. We don't know.
I think it's just important to remember that as Christians, we're not left powerless either. There are things that come, there are, temptations that come, trials that come, sicknesses that attack our body, all of those things that at the end of the day, yes, God has given us authority over, and he talks about that, in his word.
Yeah.
Because I think that's been a little harder for me sometimes with all of this. It's like, God, I know you can heal. I know you give us authority.
We've seen it.
Yeah. And, once again, that's another one. We don't have the answer of why to right now. And while, yes, I think the first instinct sometimes is just to be like, well, then it must not be true. It must not be for today. It's like, no. The Bible says what it says no matter what. We are not going to interpret what the Bible says by looking at our circumstances.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Our circumstances change. We have seen both happen. And I'm going to trust the Bible, which is unchanging, versus our lives, which we've seen different things happen.
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably the most important thing, is that no matter what, you can't interpret the Bible through the lens of your life. You have to read what the Bible says, understand what it says, and know that that's the ultimate authority. Period.
Yeah. But even when you look at the New Testament, the disciples, they still went through storms. They still went through trials. And they had Jesus right there with them.
Yeah.
How much more faith can you have? He's right there. Hey, bro, Jesus, get up from out of the bed. There's a storm out here.
Yeah.
And he looks at us like, oh, come on, guys. Are you kidding me? Look at this storm. I told you we're going to go there.
Yeah.
But they still had to go through the storm. And he calmed it down. But there are other cases where you're just going, they still had obstacles and things they had to deal with. And guess what? All but one of them was killed.
Yeah.
John was the only one who had a long life.
Yeah.
And you're going, wait, that's pretty tragic.
Yeah.
And Jesus said, hey, in this life you will have troubles because of me. People will hate you because of Jesus.
Says, take heart, for I have overcome the world.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing is we have faith without seeing. Just go read Hebrews and the heroes of faith, and it talks about how they did not see what they were working for, but they believed in. Abraham didn't get to see his descendants as large as the stars. He didn't see that. He saw a couple generations, and that was it. He saw this from one son going out, but and then so we have faith. But we can't see. We can't see it, so we have faith. And then, lastly, we have a hope because we are Christians. We don't have to worry about the world ending because Jesus says he's going to come back before the earth is destroyed. There's all these things where we have a hope that he is with us. He's taking care of us, and that this is only a portion.
Out for our good.
Yeah, he's working for our good, but even our life as humans in this body is a short period. In the Ecclesiastes it says a breath or a vapor of smoke. It's so quick that it's just, in the grand schemes of eternity, it's just, that was it.
Could be wrong on this reference. We'll have to put a caption to make sure we get the right one.
Yeah.
I believe it's in Lamentations how it talks about how God isn't the one up there who is trying to cause harm to people.
Yeah.
So we know that God ultimately he is good and that he loves us and that all of this is going to get worked for our good and for his glory.
Yeah.
We're not going to just sit back and be like, forget it, we give up. It's like, no. It's like this is going. God gets the glory through all of this. Just as Job says, yes, I'm still going to praise the Lord. I'm still going to bless his name. We're still going to bless his name. We're still going to wake up in the morning and we're still going to focus on God, to let that be what our focal point is. And we're going to do the things he has called us to do.
Yeah. So guys, that's our story, and we're bringing that up to you. If you have any questions or just want to add to the conversation, even do a video response, but talk down in the comments.
Yeah.
We made this, and we're opening up because we want to help you guys.
Yeah.
So guys, we'll see you.
We'll see you.
And we'll see you in the next one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.